here on your official WildCat and WildCat station, KSST 1230 AM in Sulphur Springs, Texas. It's time for WildCat baseball. Let's go to WildCat Park where tonight's game is called by KSST Sports Director Don Julian. Don?
Well, James Terry, thank you very much and welcome everyone into WildCat Park. We've got a district baseball game between the Greenville Lions and the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs. And let me tell you why this is a very important game for both of these teams. Although you look at the records and you would wonder, the Greenville Lions are 3-7 in district play. They're tied for the fourth and final playoff spot with Royce City. And the Wildcats are 2-8. And despite that record, they are just one game out of the playoff picture. And the reason this is such an important game is in this 3-game series that they're playing this year with every district team, each of the schools has won one game. The Wildcats won back here on something like the Ides of March, and Greenville won Tuesday night coming from behind. So each team has won one. The team that wins this game tonight will have the tiebreaker in case these two teams end up tied somehow for that fourth playoff spot. Of course, Royce City's in the picture, and they've already got the tiebreaker on the Wildcats, so the Wildcats have to completely hop over them, which means they've got to start winning some baseball games, and this would be a good place to start. It's getting late in the district campaign, 10 games down and only 5 to play. Wildcats 2 left with Texas High, 2 left with Mount Pleasant, and this game with Greenville tonight. Let's check in now with Jeff Harris for introduction of the teams.
And your Sulphur Springs Wildcats. Now here's the lineup for Greenville. Batting first on the mound tonight for the Lions, number 1, Landon Koger. Batting second, playing third, number 6, Brody Wiggins. Batting third, playing first, number 10, Clay Burnett. Batting fourth, playing left field, number 2, Brandon Stevens. Batting fifth, playing center field, number 12, Jack Phillips. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, number 3, Luke Adele. Batting seventh and catching tonight for Greenville, number 13, Braden Hudson. Batting eighth, playing second, number 14, Garrett Phillips. And batting ninth, playing right field, number 7, Jose Martinez. And now here is the rest of the Lions lineup. Number 4, Daniel Bailey. Number 5, Hayden Swansea. Number 8, Ian Miller. Number 11, Nathan Lancaster. Number 15, Wyatt Spivey. Number 16, Gage Duvall. Number 22, Brady Diggs. And number 25, Tyler Seal. Head coach of the Lions is Nick Gazelle. Assistant coaches, Matt Hanson and Blaine Roman. And now, here is the lineup for your Sulphur Springs Wildcats. Batting first, playing shortstop, number 3, Caden Argenbright. Batting second, playing second base, number 6, Colson Hale. Batting third and on the mound tonight for the Wildcats, number 4, Jackson Cheney. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 8, Cameron Harrison. Batting fifth, playing center field, number 11, Austin Dodd. Batting sixth and catching tonight for the Wildcats, number 12, Jace Birchfield. Batting seventh, playing third base, number 7, Will Sims. Batting eighth, playing left field, number 5, Jace Thompson. And batting ninth, playing right field, number 17, Connor Bergen. Here are the rest of your Wildcats. Number 1, Bryce McQueen. Number 2, Jake Davis. Number 14, Jason Edwards. Number 15, Cameron Zahn. Number 21, Austin Krause. And number 24, Jaden Janway. Head coach of Sulphur Springs this year, Hammock, assistant coaches Bruce Silverman, Cameron Warren, Shane McQueen, and Joey Chastain. At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to please stand. And gentlemen, would you please remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Yeah, that's Jeff Harris, one of the best in the business, maybe the best. Does a great job of making sure he pronounces everybody's name right. And just, he's very dogged in the pursuit of getting those lineups and identifying the way to say names and all that stuff. Does a great job. Well, pitching for the Wildcats tonight is Jackson Cheney. And throwing into the catcher, Jace Birchfield. Cameron Harrison is down at first. Colson Hale at second. Will Sims down at third. And Caden Argenbright at shortstop for the Wildcats. Out in left field is Jace Thompson. Austin Dodd in center. And Connor Bergen in right field. That's the Wildcats defensively. I was looking at one of the players for Greenville, just trying to get a good look at a really, really, really great soccer player that's on this baseball team. He's not in the starting lineup. Ian Miller, that's got to be one and the same. I don't know, that's not all that unusual of a name, but I'll bet it's the same player. He looks like he would be a holy terror on the soccer pitch. One of perhaps the shortest player on the Greenville team, but I mean, that guy can put the ball in the net. As we found out the last couple of times he's been at Prim Stadium playing for the Greenville Lions. I was just kind of fascinated by that, watching him when the reserves were introduced. I was trying to get a good look at him because he is something else. Probably, and I forget where his soccer scholarship is, but it's somewhere nice where they, up north where they play soccer and enjoy it. Leading off will be the pitcher now for the Greenville Lions. This is Landon Koger. Koger was the winning pitcher on Tuesday night in that wild game that Greenville Lions came from behind and won 10-9 in 8 innings. And Koger had mopped up in the top of the 8th and got out of the inning. Here's Jackson Cheney's first pitch, swung on and hit out toward right field. Base hit for Landon Koger. Over the head of Colson Hale, and in between him and the right fielder, Connor Bergen. So first pitch, and Landon Koger serves a single out into right field. That'll bring up Rhodey Wiggins. Wiggins is the third baseman for the Greenville Lions. Hits from the right side to see if he'll be bunting. Wildcats at double play depth at second and short. Third baseman's in on the grass. First baseman holding on the runner. Here's a bunt. It's bunted, a beauty down the first baseline, and it looked like the runner hit the ball, and then it spun out of bounds. And I guess they rule that didn't happen. The ball just rolled into foul territory. So a foul ball, or strike one, on the attempted bunt by Rhodey Wiggins. Koger returns to first. He's running for himself, by the way. Now Cheney steps off, kind of a soft toss over at first base. That's that I know you're over there throw. Definitely not serious. You're just kind of making that guy know you're aware he's over there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Koger takes off. Here's the Birchfield throw to second. The tried to swipe the tag. They did not get the tag on the runner, and Coger is now stolen second. So Greenville with a man in scoring position. They're doing what their JV couldn't do in 5 tries. They're threatening to score a run. The Wildcats JV won 16-0 over Greenville in the JV contest. Now Birchfield will trot out and we'll talk to Jackson Cheney. Things change when an opponent gets a runner at second base, where that runner can peer in and get those signs. Wouldn't be too long till he could steal them all and could share that information with his team. A 1-1 count to Rhodey Wiggins. Cheney from the stretch looks back at second. And here's the 1-1 pitch. It's bunted on. It's another beauty. Cheney off the mound. He throws to first and out at first base. Good play, Jackson Cheney, firing over to Colson Hale, who was covering at first base, and a beautiful sacrifice by Rhodey Wiggins. He really did his job. He's got that runner around to third base with just 1 out. And here's Clay Burnett, first baseman, big right-handed hitter for Greenville, waggling that bat high over his head. And Cheney looks at that runner at third, and here's the first pitch, breaking ball, called strike on the outside part of the plate. 0-1 the count to Clay Burnett. And Cheney from the stretch. And the 0-1 pitch swung on, grounded down to first base. Coger will stay put. Cameron Harrison will tag the bag. And that's out number 2. Big out there by Jackson Cheney. He got that bouncing ball down to Cameron Harrison at first. So that's 2 out now with Coger at third base. And here's Brandon Stevens. He's the left fielder for the Greenville Lions. Open stance at home plate. Got that left leg opening up a little bit. Now a timeout taken as Jackson Cheney stepped off the rubber out there on the mound. And the umpire called timeout. Stevens stepped out. He's back in now. And here's Cheney's first pitch to Stevens. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to third baseman. Oh, it's booted there by Will Sims. The throw to first. He got him anyway. Way to hang with it, Will Sims, as he kept after that ball and then fired to first. And that'll do it for Greenville. A hit, but nothing more. They had no runs, 1 hit. There were no Wildcat errors, and 1 runner left on base. We played half an inning here from Wildcat Park. The Greenville Lions 0, and the Wildcats coming to bat. The bottom of the first inning, and Landon Coger is throwing warm-up pitches into his catcher, who is Braden Hudspeth. Boy, Hudspeth had a huge ball game the other night. He got the winning hit and was 4 for 5 on the night. Clay Burnett is down at first, Garrett Phillips at second, Rhodey Wiggins at third, and Luke Adele at short. Brandon Stevens in left, Jack Phillips in center, and Jose Martinez out in right field. And a big thank you goes out to head coach Nick Kozol of Greenville. He's agreed to allow us to live stream video tonight on YouTube, and I think there's a link also at ksstradio.com where you can just click right on the appropriate thing and just get that streaming happening immediately. So we are live streaming tonight. The game will be posted on YouTube for anybody to see. And it will also have a tape delay broadcast on Channel 18. So again, we appreciate Coach Kozol, and we've had good luck with these coaches this year. All the baseball coaches that we talked to have agreed to everything that we would like to do. So we appreciate them. And then that means the game is going back to Greenville tonight. So anybody in Greenville can pick this ball game up. Stepping in now, Caden Argenbright hitting from the left side. And here's Landon Coger's first pitch, a breaking ball outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Caden Argenbright. And Coger with a 1-0 pitch. It's swung on by Argenbright and popped on the infield. Second baseman taking charge and makes the catch out there. That's Garrett Phillips for out number 1.
Second baseman, Colson Hale.
Well, if you try something and it's successful, you might try it again. The Wildcats put an order together for the Greenville game Tuesday that featured the best on-base percentages in district play for the Wildcats. And that resulted in Argenbright hitting first. There's a pitch high and inside, ball one to Colson Hale, and Colson Hale hitting second. He is really good at getting on base. Works a lot of walks. He may not have a lot of hits like some of the other players, but he's up there in that 2 spot because he gets on base a lot. And Koger's 1-0 pitch swung on, blasted to left field by Colson Hale. That just almost ripped the third baseman's glove off, in a solid hit by Colson Hale. That was nice. And that'll bring up the big bopper, Jackson Cheney. But anyway, Coach Hammock liked the results from scheduling his hitters that way. And they had 9 runs and 12 hits. It wasn't hitting the other night that cost them that ball game. It was some other things. Fielding, for one thing. And here's Koger's first pitch. Jackson Cheney just missed outside, 1-0 the count, and Hale stays put at first. Yeah, needed better pitching the other night and better fielding with 6 errors. That's just way too many. And 1-0 pitch to Jackson Cheney. That just missed. Boy, I must not be seeing the plate good yet. I thought both of those might be strikes, but 2-0 the count to Jackson Cheney. Here's a throw to first. It got away, and Colson Hale will scramble down to second base. He may head to third. Colson is heading to third base, and he will be in there easily. A error on the pitcher, Koger, throwing over at first, and he threw it down in the dirt. Got by the first baseman over there, Clay Burnett. And Colson Hale all the way around to third base with just 1 out. And Coach Jared Hammock is talking to Hale. Now they're at third base. The count's still 2-0 on Cheney, as he hadn't seen a pitch in a while after that wild throw to first. And Koger from the stretch. 1 out, runner at third. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Called strike on the outside part of the plate. 2-1 the count to Jackson Cheney. He was a one-man wrecking crew against this Greenville team back on the Ides of March. 2-1 pitch, breaking ball swung on and foul tipped at home plate, and the count is 2-2. Yeah, beware the Ides of March Greenville. When Jackson Cheney was concerned, he had a grand slam homer and a 3-run homer in a 9-2 Wildcats win. Koger from the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. And that's out number 2. That's kind of a microcosm of what we've seen with this season. Runner down at third base with less than 2 outs. And see if we can. It's too early to say we didn't get him in. Let's see if we can. Here's Cameron Harrison hitting from the left side. And Koger's pitch on the way, breaking ball just off the plate. Boy, it looked like a good pitch, but ball 1 is the count to Cameron Harrison. Harrison, a speed demon. They're playing him back deep at second and short. 1-0 pitch, swung on and fisted just off the line, foul. Had it been in fair territory, the third baseman might have had a pretty good shot at it. That was cued foul off, like it hit him right on the hands. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Cameron Harrison. And Koger's 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on, hit foul, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Cameron Harrison. Fans like to call him Camo. Hear that a lot. I was amongst them the other night, so I had a chance to kind of be a fan a little bit. As Matt Young is in the ballpark, just walked his way in. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And Koger with a runner at first. And just less than 2 outs, and he struck out 2 Wildcat batters. And for the Wildcats, the same line as Greenville. No runs, 1 hit, except Greenville did commit an error, and there was 1 Wildcat left on base. So we played 1 inning of play here at Wildcat Park. Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 0 and Greenville 0. And we're in the top of the 2nd inning. We'll have Hitters 5, 6, and 7 for the Lions in this inning. Jack Phillips, Luke Adele, and Braden Hudspeth scheduled to hit for the Greenville Lions. Here's Jack Phillips. He's in the 5-hole tonight. He is the center fielder for the Lions, another right-handed hitter, against Jackson Cheney in his second inning of work. Cheney's first pitch on the way swung on, grounded to shortstop on a couple of hops. And Caden Argenbright fires to first over to Cameron Harrison for out number 1. Nicely done by Argenbright at shortstop. And 1 up and 1 out. And here's Luke Adele. Adele is the shortstop for Greenville. Another right-handed hitter. Both teams no runs, 1 hit. Greenville has committed an error out there. Jackson Cheney's first pitch to Adele, a breaking ball, is very good. You have a very little piece of that one that fouled it back behind to the screen. Actually to the bricks as it hit the bricks at the bottom of that screen. For strike 1, Luke Adele. No outs and or 1 out and nobody on. Top of the second. Here's Cheney's next pitch, and he poured a strike in there. That was a fastball. And 2-0 the count. And Jackson Cheney ready to work again. And the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Boy, Cheney just overpowered that hitter, Adele, for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 out, and here's Braden Hudspeth. He's hitting in the 7 spot. A catcher for the Leones. And steps in from the right side. And Jackson Cheney winds in the pitch. He pours a strike right in there. Jackson really looks good tonight. He is throwing strikes. In fact, I think I only show him with 1 ball in the ball game so far. And the 0-1 pitch, that's breaking ball. Well, wouldn't you know it? He just threw his second one. 1-1 the count now to Hudspeth. Steps back in there. Field looks gorgeous, by the way. I was out there walking on it. It is like a nice, thick carpet. Ball hit up the middle. Oh, what a stab by Jackson Cheney. You need to see Doug's video to see that. He just swatted at it. It was back behind his back, and he just kind of threw the glove in that general direction, and he caught the ball. What a play by Jackson Cheney. My, oh my. 3 up and 3 down for the Greenville Lions. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played 1.5 here from WildCat Park. The Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 0 and Greenville 0. Bottom of the second inning, the Wildcats will have Austin Dodd, Jace Birchfield, and Will Sims as scheduled hitters. 5, 6, and 7. Austin Dodd against Greenville on Tuesday night. What a ball game. 5 for 5 at the plate. And he just almost hit for the cycle. Had 2 singles, a double, and a triple. All he needed was to hit the ball out of the park, and he would have had that cycle. But what a really nice ball game. And he was a 1-man rally in that top of the 8th inning. Last bat for the Wildcats as he hit a single and then proceeded to steal second and steal third and was all the way around to third base, and lo and behold, had a hard time getting him in. But Greenville got the key hit in a similar situation, and they went away with a 10-9 win. So here's Austin Dodd. Let's see if his destruction of the Greenville pitching staff continues here. A tough little guy here, Landon Koger. So here's Dodd from the right side, and Koger's pitch, a breaking ball, is over for a call strike. 0-1 the count to Austin Dodd. Center fielder for the Wildcats, leading off here in the bottom of the second. Scoreless ball game. Pitch, swing and a miss by Dodd, and he's in an 0-2 hole. So Koger curved him to start and then threw the fastball that time. So mixing those pitches up. And Landon Koger now, the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and hit off the fist out towards center field. A base hit for Austin Dodd. Oh my, 6 for 6, his last 6 at-bats. That one was a duck snort of all duck snorts as he hit it right off the fist and just kind of Wee Willie Keeler said, hit them where they ain't. He just blooped it over the second baseman's head, and it fell in front of the center fielder. So you don't always have to murder the ball. You can just hit it just the right way sometime. Dodd with a lot of speed, big lead off first, and then Koger kind of was waiting him out there, and Dodd went back to first. As stepping in now is Jace Birchfield for the Wildcats, the catcher. Again, Dodd with a big lead over there, and Koger saw that. He looked at him, see if he throws that way. No, he's going to deliver home. Bunted on by Birchfield, a foul ball. Went back behind the catcher. So strike one to Jace Birchfield as Coach Jared Hammock trying to play some small ball here. As Joe Bob Bergen arrives, he get a chance to see his grandson, Connor Bergen, hit in just a minute here. He showed up late one night, and Bergen had already singled when he got here. Did not like that. Here's a nice bunt by Birchfield back to Koger, the pitcher. He throws to first, and a good sacrifice by Jace Birchfield. Out number one, and on the play, Dodd moves to second. And now, don't think Dodd is comfortable just being there at second. I told you about that 8th inning the other night. His second steal was at third base. So here's Will Sims for the Wildcats, hitting in the 7 spot. Runner at second and one out. And Koger from the stretch looking back at Dodd at second. And a pitch on the way, swung on, hit foul. He was ahead of that one. I think it's, the left fielder going over. He was just in foul territory. And Dodd tags up and moves to third alertly. Boy, good base running there by Austin Dodd, tagging up on a fly to left. And I had given up on that ball, but the left fielder just crossed the foul line and made the catch. And so that's out number 2. Second inning in a row, the Wildcats are runner down to third. And here's Jace Thompson. Seemed like Jace had a pretty good night with the bat the other night, multiple hits. Koger from the stretch. And the pitch on the way, that's outside. Boy, that ball had some weird-looking movement on it, and the catcher kind of boxed it there. Hudspeth did keep it in front of him, and that's the thing to do. 1-0 the count. As Koger's ready to deliver again to Jace Thompson. That was up too high, 2-0 the count. The Wildcats left fielder. Jace is kind of a utility guy. I've seen him play second, short. Probably could move him over third, I guess. Could play quite a few positions for the Wildcats. And again, out in left field tonight. Here's Koger's 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a call strike. It's the outside part of the plate. Thompson may have had a take sign on that one. He may have been telling Koger, I want you to throw me a strike before I get serious up here in the batter's box. Again, Koger from the stretch. And the 2-1 pitch. Oh, that was a breaking ball way outside, and Hudspeth did a good job of tracking that one. I thought that had the backstop written all over it. 3-1 the count now to Jace Thompson. 2 out, runner at third. That's Austin Dodd at third for the Wildcats. And again, Landon Koger. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swung on. Thompson hit a foul back out of play. And the count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes. And again, 2 outs. And the Wildcats have a runner at third base. They've had 2 hits tonight. Greenville 1. We play in the bottom of the second. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. And Koger has the strikeout pitch working. That's his 3rd strikeout in 2 innings. So the Wildcats, no runs. They had a hit. No Greenville errors. And 1 runner left on base. We've played 2 complete innings now here at Wildcat Park. So Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 0 and Greenville 0. So top of the 3rd inning, and Greenville have 8, 9, and 1 in the order hitting here, and we'll start with the 8-hole hitter, Garrett Phillips, second baseman for the Lions. First pitch from Jackson Cheney is hit in foul territory, first base line, and Cameron Harrison over in foul territory didn't make that catch. Route number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Jackson Cheney's pitch count, by the way, is that looks like 15, and boy, is that an excellent number. Only 14 pitches in 2 innings. That's 7 an inning. That is about half of what is normal. Here's Jose Martinez, the right fielder for Greenville. 1 out, nobody on. And the pitch from Jackson Cheney swung on and hit foul, out of play, off to the right side for strike 1. 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the 3rd inning in a scoreless ball game. And Cheney's 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss to Martinez. That ball broke right out of the strike zone, and he chased it and did not come up with it. So 0-2 the count. And the 0-2 pitch from Jackson Cheney. Called strike 3. Hit the outside part of the plate. And that is the 2nd strikeout for Jackson Cheney. 2 up and 2 out. And the top of the order, Landon Koger. He opened the ball game with a single for Greenville. That remains their only hit to this point. And the pitch from Jackson Cheney. Breaking ball, call strike on the outside part of the plate. Landon Koger, tonight's Greenville pitcher, hitting in the leadoff spot. And the 0-1 pitch, and that's popped up. And Birchfield looking for it. Oh, it crashes on the roof here. Came back all the way over the net. Woke us all up all here in the booth. 0-2 the count to Landon Koger. That sounds like what that thunder is going to sound like about 2 or 3 o'clock this morning when it wakes you up. That thunderstorm comes through. And the 0-2 pitch, that's hit off the fist, back into the screen, 0-2 the count. James Terry's ears perked up because if it gets to be bad weather, he will be telling you all about it, I would imagine, up at the station. So that'll give you a new appreciation of keeping up with the weather. 0-2 the count now. And the pitch from Jackson Cheney. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to Will Sims at third. A one hopper. Throw to first is in time. And the Wildcats have them up and down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played 2.5 innings here from Wildcat Park. The Greenville Lions 0, the Wildcats 0. Well, James was giving me a countdown, which I needed to hear, but 3-3 I heard, and I'm not sure what inning. That's from Lady Cat Park. It sounds like Lindale 3 and the Lady Cats 3, and I did not catch the inning. Again, there was a lot going on in my ears, trying to hear that. So anyway, sounds like a tie ball game over at Lady Cat Park. So good battle going on there. Leading off for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the third is Connor Bergen. And the first pitch is swung on and hit down the left field line for a base hit. Bergen turns the bag and he's heading to second. Here's the throw to second, not in time. A nice double as he hit that ball hard. It took a big kangaroo hop over the third baseman's head and went right down the left field line. So a double for Connor Bergen. Leading off the bottom of the third inning, and here's Caden Argenbright. He is 0 for 1. He popped out on the infield his first time out. And Koger's pitch to Argenbright, a breaking ball in there for a called strike. Koger's breaking ball looks good tonight. He's generally thrown it for strikes. And again, Bergen, not much of a lead off second. That shortstop's right in his ear there. Pitch inside on Argenbright. Came close to brushing him there, but he hung in there. That breaking ball, he's going to let that hit him, I think. Just missed him. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Wildcats leadoff hitter with Connor Bergen down at second. Again, short lead. Here's a 1-1 pitch way outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. What Bob Uecker used to say in the movie, just a little outside. That was considerably outside. Of course, it was in the movie, too. That's why it made it funny. 2-1 now. And Kager's pitch on the way. Argenbright blasted up the middle for a base hit. It's a one-hopper to the center fielder, and Jared Hammock puts on the brakes on Bergen at third. Argenbright hit that actually too hard It was a one-hopper to the center fielder out there, Jack Phillips, and he threw the ball all the way in, a one-hopper to the catcher. So runners at the corners with nobody out. Runner at first and third. And here's Colson Hale, and he blistered a base hit into left field his first time up. He lashed that ball out there, hit it with a lot of authority. And Koger, the old fake to third, and usually throw to first. That time he just kept the ball. Didn't deliver anywhere, so runner still at first and third. Nobody out. And Hale awaits, and the first pitch, a breaking ball in there for a call strike. I'm telling you that. Koger's got that breaking ball working tonight. He keeps mixing in the fastball too. You want anything all the time, they're going to catch up to it. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on by Hale and blooped out to left field. The left fielder makes the catch in left center field. Tag up by the Wildcats. The throw comes to second, and Connor Bergen will score on the sacrifice fly by Colson Hale. So give an RBI to Colson on the fly out to left center field for out number one. They threw to second to make sure that Argenbright did not move up, and didn't even try for Connor Bergen. They figured they had no shot at him. The ball was deep enough, and the Wildcats take a 1-0 lead. Runner at first with one out. Here's Jackson Cheney. Argenbright leads, and the pitch is swung on by Cheney and hit foul back out of play. And strike one the count to Jackson Cheney. He struck out in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Tonight's pitcher for the Wildcats. Second double play depth for the Greenville second baseman and shortstop. Back deep at third. Pitch to Cheney, and now Argenbright takes off for second, and he's in there. As the ball was not cleanly caught by the catcher, and Argenbright took off and moved into second base. So the Wildcats now with a runner at second, with just one out, and 1-1 the count to Jackson Cheney. Here's a 1-1 pitch that caught the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Wildcats with another runner in scoring position here. They lead 1-0 as we play in the bottom of the third inning. And Koger's pitch, that pitch outside. And 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jackson Cheney. Big slugger for the Wildcats. Seemed like the last time we were here, he hit the ball straight away center field. It was a real bomb out there. And the 2-2 pitch swung on and hit down the right field way. The right fielder really churning after it. It's in foul territory, and he couldn't catch up to it. There's a lot of space in this ballpark. Just really a huge ballpark. And so don't ever, in this place, don't ever give up. If you're a fielder out there, don't ever give up on a foul ball. Just keep chasing. You might get there. Right fielder was really moving fast. Jose Martinez out there. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at second base. Wildcats leading 1-0. And here is Landon Koger's pitch. Swing and a miss by Jackson Cheney. Couldn't come up with it. And that's out number 2. That'll bring up Cameron Harrison. He struck out in the first inning, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Several ball games ago, we saw Cameron, that was a Texas High game. He hit a 2-run homer down the right field line. And Koger looks at the runner at second and delivers. Swing and a miss by Harrison for strike 1. That was an off-speed breaking ball. Hard to hit. When this game started, we looked like the ball would get a lot of help out to right field, but that flag has died out there in center field. And Koger 0-1 the count. Looks back at second, and here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on a 1-hopper back to Koger. He fields it and lobs to first. And that'll do it for the Wildcats, but they do get on the boards as they got 1 run on 2 hits. There was no Greenville errors. There were no Greenville errors, and 1 runner left on base. So we played 3 complete here at Wildcat Park. A new score now. The Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 1 and Greenville 0. Well, we move into the top of the 4th inning now. The hitters 2, 3, and 4 for Greenville. Rhodey Wiggins, Clay Burnett, and Brandon Stevens working against Jackson Cheney. And he has only allowed 1 hit so far. No runs, 1 hit. Greenville has an error. The Wildcats have 1 run on 4 hits. And first pitch by Cheney is outside for ball 1. Went all the way back to the base of the screen. But hardly matters, and nobody on base. Rhodey Wiggins again, the hitter. And Cheney, the 1-0 pitch. Ooh, buzzed him inside. 2-0 the count to Wiggins. Wiggins, a right-handed hitter. They're playing him deep, second and short, and third, and first baseman all the way around the infield. Here's a 2-0 pitch, swung on and nubbed down the first baseline, foul. Greenville first base coach will gather that one up. And 2-1 the count now to Wiggins. Wildcats had a double, a single, and a sacrifice fly to take a 1-0 lead. Here's a 2-1 pitch that just missed outside. 3-1 the count to Wiggins. First name Rhodey, R-O-D-E-Y. And Jackson Cheney now with a 3-1 offering, and he poured that fastball right in there for a strike, and the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Cheney winds up, and the 3-2 pitch on the way. Called strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. See, I think that's 3. That is correct. 3 strikeouts now for Jackson Cheney as we play here in the 4th inning. And his pitch count is still, that looks to be about 28, I believe is what that says. And this is the 4th inning, so that is still an incredibly great number. And the pitch to the next batter hit the left center field. That's well struck, and that's in there, but cut off by the left fielder, and he will hold that batter to a single. Nice defensive play by Jace Thompson to get over there and cut that ball off in the gap and hold Clay Burnett to a single. That's the second Lions hit. So runner at first with 1 out, and here's Brandon Stevens. He grounded down to Will Sims his first time up, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Stevens steps in. Burnett, big tall fella, leads off first. Kind of a smallish lead, now takes another step. Pitch from Jackson Cheney, pours that fastball in there for a call strike to Stevens. Left fielder for the Lions. Stepped out and looked down at Cazole, our head coach, coaching down at third base. Nick Cazole. Cheney from the stretch. And the 0-1 breaking ball swung on and hit well to left field. The left fielder backing up, and Thompson makes the catch. And Jace fires that ball back toward the infield. Nicely played by Jace Thompson on what looked like a pretty well struck ball, but he got back on it and made it look routine. That's out number 2 for the runner at first base. And here's Jack Phillips. He grounded the ball to shortstop Argenbright his first time up. And Argy threw a strike over to Cameron Harrison at first to get him out. So runner at first, 2 out. Wildcats leading 1-0. And Cheney's first pitch, a breaking ball in there for a call strike to Jack Phillips, Greenville center fielder. Again, he steps out and took a long look at his head coach. Not what you'd be expecting here with 2 outs and a runner at first. Hit the ball, get a base hit. That's what the signal should be. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And the runner takes off, kind of a delayed steal, and he walked into second base, and he got him out. As he never slid, and the ball went out to Argenbright, and he applied the tag. He went in standing up. I think he thought he had that made, and a beautiful throw there by Jace Birchfield. And that'll do it for the Greenville Lions. And no runs, 1 hit, no Wildcat errors, and nobody left on base. We played 3.5 here from Wildcat Park. The Wildcats 1 and Greenville 0. Bottom of the 4th inning, Wildcats leading Greenville 1-0. And we'll have Austin Dodd, Jason Birchfield, and Will Sims as scheduled hitters for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Austin Dodd will lead off, and he singled in the 2nd inning. And again, for the last 2 ball games against Greenville, 6 for 6 with 3 singles. And maybe a couple of doubles, I think, and a triple. I believe that's how that all shook out. And Dodd in the batter's box to lead off the bottom of the 4th. Breaking ball in there for a call strike from Landon Koger. I keep wanting to call him Aaron Kager. Everybody around town knows him. He's a fire investigator over at the fire department. I guess it's what he still does over there. I've gotten out of news, so I'm kind of out of touch. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and laced out to left center field, but caught by Phillips in center field. Now that was a well-struck ball, but the center fielder makes the catch. First time he hit one, just kind of blooped it off the fist, got a base hit. He hammered that ball, and the ball was caught. So that's out number 1, and here's Jace Birchfield. He has no official at-bats as he sacrificed in the 2nd inning. And the pitch to Jace is in there for a call strike. 1 out, nobody on. We play in the bottom of the 4th. Kager's only thrown 43 pitches as we play in the 4th. That's an incredibly good number, too. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on by Birchfield and hit foul out of play. 0-2 the count for the Wildcats catcher, sometimes pitcher. And Landon Kager winds up, and here's the 0-2 pitch. It's swung on and hit shortstop on a couple of hops, and here's the throw to first, and it's in time for out number 2. Nice play there by Luke Adell, throwing over to Clay Burnett. So 2 up, 2 down for the Wildcats, and here's Will Sims. He hit that long fly ball down the left field line that looked like it was going to be way foul, and the left fielder crossed the line and made the catch out there. It came close to being a fair ball. First pitch to Sims, low and outside, ball 1. 2 out, nobody on, bottom of the 4th inning, Wildcats with a 1-0 lead. Landon Koger has swung on, hit right up the center field, and Phillips has it out in center field. Made 2 of the outs in the inning. Wildcats go up and down in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Played 4 complete on a fast, rapid moving ball game tonight. After 4, the Wildcats 1, Greenville 0. And we move along now into the top of the 5th inning. Again, a rapid moving ball game. Remember, it's scheduled for 7, so we're trotting along here. Less than an hour old, already in the top of the 5th. Cheney completes his warm-up pitches, throw to second by Birchfield, and
center fielder Jack Phillips.
It'll be Jack Phillips. He was hitting when the runner tried to steal and got thrown out at second base. So Phillips will lead off, and then Luke Adell and also Braden Hudspeth. Top of the 5th inning. And Jackson Cheney's first pitch on the way. Misses outside for ball 1. That was Jackson's 34th pitch. So 33 pitches through 4 innings. That's an amazing, about an 8-pitch an inning number. That is incredibly low. 1-0 pitch. Looked like the batter failed to check. Oh, the first base umpire said he did not go. Boy, I'd like to see a replay of that. 2-0 the count. Looked like he definitely maybe had trouble checking that swing. And the 2-0 pitch. And that's high, and Jackson Cheney is behind to Jack Phillips, 3-0. Jackson back on the rubber there. And here comes the 3-0 pitch from the windup, and in there for a call strike. Again, burned that fastball in there. Jackson's fastballs look very, very good tonight. He's really been pouring that in there. And the 3-1 pitch, and that's strike 2, and the count goes full now after Jack Phillips was up 3 balls and no strikes, and now the count back to full. The center fielder in there, he made 2 catches last inning. 3-2, call, strike 3. Jackson Cheney comes all the way back and picks up the strikeout. That's strikeout number 4 for Jackson. 1 up and 1 out, and here's Luke Adell. He struck out in the second inning. It's the shortstop for the Greenville Lions. Always have a lot of respect for a shortstop, usually one of the best athletes, if not the best athlete on the team. Takes a strike on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. The count, Jackson Cheney, boy, he's in the catbird seat out there, just winding and firing. Here's the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, that was off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Catbird seat. I was trying to, who was that old announcer from Florida that used to, well, he was in New York broadcasting when all the New York teams were there. That pitch misses outside. Red Barber, maybe? I think that was Red Barber. Talked about the catbird seat. 2 balls and 1 strike for the old Brooklyn Dodgers. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Missed outside, and Cheney goes to 3-1 now on Luke Adell. All he did last time after getting behind 3-0 was come back and got the strikeout. Now he's behind in the count, 3-1 to Adell. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 5th inning. And Jackson Cheney's 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. He fired that fastball in there again, and Adell had a hard time catching up with it. The count goes full to the Greenville shortstop. Another thing Red Barber used to say in an exciting ball game, oh, doctor, everybody need to check your blood pressure. Here's a 3-2 count, and swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 up and 2 out, and that'll bring up Braden Hudspeth. He hit that incredible play to Jackson Cheney that was back behind his back, and Jackson just kind of flashed the glove back there, and the ball got caught right in it. That was a beautiful play. I'll watch Doug's replay just for that one. 2 outs, nobody on, and here's a breaking ball, and they say the batter checked his swing for ball 1. This is Hudspeth, and again grounded back to the mound his only time, 0 for 1. And Cheney with a 1-0 pitch. Now he poured that fastball in there, but it was down too low that time. Came in a little lower than we've seen. 2-0 the count to Hudspeth. So Cheney's strategy this inning has been to fall behind and then come roaring back with great success. A pair of strikeouts so far. 2-0 pitch, swung on, grounded down to Argenbright at short, cleanly fields, nice throw, nice stretch by Harrison at first. And that's going to do it. Again, Greenville up and down in order in a real pitcher's duel tonight. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played, hold on just a second.
Lindale 3 and your Lady Cats 4.
Lady Cats are leading 4-3, and again, I did not catch the inning. But Greenville, again, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And we played 4.5 innings here from WildCat Park. The Wildcats 1 and Greenville 0. They got the answer on that Lady Cats. They're in the top of the 5th. Well, we're in the bottom of the 5th now. We started 30 minutes after them. But I mean, we've been playing giddy-up baseball here tonight. This is a fast-moving game. But that is the top of the 5th. Lady Cats 4 and Lindale 3. A real barn burner over there at Lady Cat Park tonight. And right here, we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Wildcats leading Greenville 1-0. And again, a rapid moving ball game here. As we are really at about the 1 hour mark and already being here in the bottom of the 5th. Wildcats will have 8, 9, and 1 scheduled to hit in the bottom of the 5th. Jace Thompson will be the first hitter, then Connor Bergen and Caden Argenbright. So Jace Thompson will be the right-handed first hitter here. Wildcats left fielder. He struck out in the second, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Steps in against Landon Koger. And the pitch on the way, blasted up the middle, base hit for Jace Thompson. Nice hit, Jace. Boy, that was solid. Nothing cheap about that one. He hit that, as Coach Hammock, I think, would say, on the screws. He really blasted that one. I don't know the origin of that. That sounds like some kind of tool and die kind of talk. But I don't know what that means, to hit something on the screws, but it means real solid. And that was well hit. Here's Connor Bergen. He had a double his first time up. Kind of hit a kangaroo hop over the third baseman. A beautiful bunt down the third baseline, fielded by Koger, and his throw to first in time. Koger pouncing off that mound. I would imagine when he's not pitching, he's probably a middle infielder of some kind. I think he's the second baseman. That may be his position. I'll have to check that out. I've got Greenville in the book. I can. But a good sacrifice by Connor Bergen. Out number 1 and on the play, Jace Thompson with a lot of speed moves to second base. Here's Caden Argenbright. He has a hit in the ball game. Popped to second and then singled in the third. So 1 for 2 for Argie. Koger looks back at second. And the pitch to Argenbright. Breaking ball in there for a call strike. Yeah, Argenbright, actually, he hit his single too hard because it was a one-hopper to the center fielder, and Bergen could not score from second. It was so well struck. Coach Hammock threw up the stop sign. There's a pitch high and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Caden Argenbright. And Landon Koger looks in. He's allowed 5 hits tonight, 1 run, 5 hits. The Wildcats have allowed no runs and 2 hits. And stepped off the mound and looked to second where Jace Thompson was. Jace with a short lead, that shortstop right there standing right next to Thompson. Here's a breaking ball, and that missed just outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Caden Argenbright. Congratulations on the signees today. Abby Beggs going to Indiana Tech. Do some track throwing. The shot, discus, and the hammer, and the javelin. Here's a 2-1 pitch outside. It fell out of the glove of the catcher, but he was all over it. And Thompson stayed at second. 3 balls and 1 strike. Also, congratulations to a couple of fellas, a couple of football players, DQ Pitts, and also Jermon Bryant Amos. They're going to RPA College, which is right next door to UT Arlington, a prep school. Good for those fellas. 3-1 pitch. That's outside, ball 4, and Argenbright will take a walk. At prep school, you kind of allows a player to really get strong with the books. And then to play football, they play a junior college schedule. And then to move on to hopefully a bigger college, and you don't lose any of your eligibility by playing at the prep school. So that's a heck of a deal all the way around. That RPA College in Arlington. Wildcats have runners on at second and first, and a meeting going on on the mound. Again, 54 pitches at this point in the game. That's slightly, that's under 11 per inning right now. Of course, he's not quite out of this inning yet. And we've got Jace Thompson at second, Argenbright at first, and Colson Hale, the hitter. He's 1 for 1 with a well-hit single to left field, and then he hit a sacrifice fly. So he's getting that ball out in the outfield. 1 for 1. And Koger's pitch on the way and missed outside, ball 1. Again, the Wildcats stirring the pot here in the 5th inning. Runners at second and first and just 1 out, and they took that out to try to move a base runner along. And Koger looking at second. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Hale. Swung on, slashed foul. Went into the Greenville dugout. Looked like somebody had a glove there and snagged that one as it came into that dugout. It was higher than that fence down there that blocks everything off, but it's only about waist high. So somebody snagged that with a glove. Good idea to have a glove when you're around the park. Want to stay alert. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Call strike on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Colson Hale, hitting in the 2-hole. Boy, second baseman is really deep for him. Shortstop is, again, trying to bug that base runner. They're not holding Argenbright on at first, so he's getting a giant lead. That pitch outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out as we play here in the bottom of the 5th. Wildcats with a 1-0 lead, threatening to add some runs here. I know Jackson Cheney would certainly appreciate the insurance. May have a chance to help his own ball game here. He's on deck. Pitcher took too long and Colson Hale stepped out. Umpire granted it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And Coger's next pitch is swung on and hit out toward right center field. There's nobody there. That's in there for a base hit. Runner rounding third, and a runner right on his tail, and both runs come in to score on a double by Colson Hale that drives home 2 Wildcats. Well, a 2 RBI double as Colson Hale hit one out there to right center field. Nobody out there. And I mean to tell you, Argenbright he was just right behind Connor Bergen. He almost hitched a ride there. Had a piggyback. And the Wildcats leading 3-0 after Colson Hale drives home a pair with a double. And here's Jackson Cheney with Hale at second. And again, that shortstop for Greenville just right in that gap there as Hale takes a little bit of a lead. Here's a pitch to Jackson, a breaking ball in there for a call strike. I'll tell you, that would be a pattern to look for if you like to hit the breaking ball. Coger has been throwing those first pitch curves about every time to every batter. But most of them are just taking that thing. They'd rather hit the Ryan Express. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's outside. Nice snag there by the Greenville catcher, Braden Hudspeth. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jackson Cheney. Wildcats lead 3-0 now. Have a runner at second with 1 out. Colson Hale at second. He runs pretty well. And Coger now. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on by Cheney and hit blooper first base in foul territory. Now catch made there by Clay Burnett for out number 2.
Cameron Harrison.
And that'll leave it up to Cameron Harrison to see if he can add a run here. Harrison struck out in the first and grounded back to Coger, the pitcher, so he's 0 for 2. And Harrison from the left side. Boy, you'd think if he could drop a bunt, unless Coger could get to it, he could have a hit. They're playing him very deep, all the way around the infield. And the pitch to Harrison, call strike from Landon Coger. So 0-1 the count. And the 0-1 pitch on the way, and that was that missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, runner at second, 2 outs now. The Wildcats leading 3-0. Wildcats have had 6 hits on the night. And Coger's 1-1 pitch, swung on by Harrison and hit out toward left field. Left fielder coming in, he's under it and makes the catch for out number 3. But the Wildcats have a big inning as they have a pair of hits. They had 2 runs on 2 hits, no Greenville errors, and had 1 runner left on base. We played 5 complete here from Wildcat Park. New score now, the Wildcats at Sulphur Springs 3 and Greenville 0. It's the top of the 6th inning. Jackson Cheney cruising along here. No runs and 2 hits. Will face 8, 9, and 1 in the Greenville order. And here's Garrett Phillips. He's a second baseman, and he had a popper to Cameron Harrison first time up. Swing and a miss. He was very tardy on that pitch from Jackson Cheney. Cheney kind of had him overpowered on that one. Couldn't catch up to the heat. And the 0-1 pitch, that's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Phillips. A couple of Phillips on this team. Jack Phillips, we've mentioned. This is Garrett Phillips, second baseman. Cheney from the full windup now. And the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded down to Sims on a couple of hops. It'll be a long throw. It's a beauty. Right on the mark to Harrison. And 1 up and 1 out. And that'll bring up Jose Martinez. And Martinez, the right fielder for the Greenville Lions. He struck out in the third, 0 for 1 in the ball game. And the pitch from Cheney is a call strike on the outside part of the plate. Boy, Jackson really cruising along here. His pitch count at 52. We play in the 6th inning. That is an incredible pitch count. I am not kidding you. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. That was one of the talk show hosts or something used to say, "I kid you not." Can't quite remember who that was. Maybe somebody out there knows. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Dropped by Birchfield. He throws to first to complete the strikeout, and that's 2 up and 2 out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts for Jackson Cheney in 6 innings. Again, a masterful job. No runs and 2 hits. This is exactly what the Wildcats have needed, is a well-pitched ball game. That makes everybody look like a genius. And the Wildcats have struggled to get that this year, and they're 2-8 in district. And this pitch comes into the leadoff hitter. Koger misses for ball 1. Koger singled in the first and grounded to third. So he is 1 out of 2. And the 1-0 pitch from Cheney is a call strike on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's been a strike all night long. You got to go out and get that with this umpire tonight. He likes that strike out there. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That was over but too low, and 2-1 the count. And Cheney back on that rubber, ready to go on the mound. And here's the 2-1 pitch. Oh, he looked like he held on that one a little bit too long, and it short hopped up at home and went back to the screen. So the count is 3-1 now to Koger with 2 outs and nobody on. We're in the top of the 6th inning. And the Wildcats with a 3-0 lead. And Cheney's 3-1 pitch on the way. He poured that strike in there, and the count is full. He has really been able to do that for the most part all night long. So Jackson Cheney getting to deliver the 3-2 pitch here with 2 out, and that is hit off the fist. Cheney on 1 hop, and he will run toward first and get that underhand toss as he really sawed off the batter that time, Koger. And that's going to do it for Greenville. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. And we played 6 complete innings now from Wildcat Park. Our score, the Wildcats 3 and Greenville 0. Yeah, I just checked one of my old books. I was talking about Koger and what position he played because of the way he bounced around that mound. He is a second baseman by trade. He looked like he uncorked a wild warm-up pitch, and it looked like he had some discomfort out there. And his head coach is now having a conversation with him to see if he can continue here, I'm sure. Talking to Koger and make sure he's okay. Now the home plate umpire's coming out, and Coach Cazole is talking to the umpire. Let's see, I think we're going to have a pitching change here. I think when Koger uncorked that wild warm-up pitch, something didn't feel quite right, and they're going to have a pitching change here, and we'll tell you all about it. Let's take a break, and we'll be back in a moment with the results of the pitching change here. After 5 innings from Lady Cat Park, Lady Cats 4 and Lindale 3, so game's still in the hat there. We have a submariner out there for the Greenville Lions. And this pitcher is Gage Duval. So Duval, the new pitcher for the Lions. And again, he's come seriously from down under there. A side armor. So Duval now pitching for Greenville. After, I'll tell you, Cover just did not look right when he let that ball go. And the way he was kind of standing around that mound is like he was maybe in a little bit of discomfort. But there's just no telling what that could be. And we don't want to speculate. But Duval, now the new pitcher for the Lions in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, on the mound now for Greenville, number 16, Gage Duval.
And so Duval, he kind of bends at the waist and then sidearms that thing up there. Boy, that was a wild-looking throw. Wildcats, by the way, against this new pitcher will have Austin Dodd, Jace Birchfield, and Will Sims, the scheduled hitters. Wildcats leading 3-0. Wildcats 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Greenville, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. Just a masterful job tonight by Jackson Cheney, who only has, I have a hard time reading that scoreboard. There's something, those numbers are just so bright or something. I'm not even sure that these oh yeah, the binoculars will knock that out. That is 60 pitches. But still, for 5 innings, that is just, well, actually it's 6 now, isn't it? So 6, that's 10 pitches an inning. Average of Major League, what they want is 15. So they would be up to about 90 pitches, and they would be just fine with that. But Jackson Cheney at 60, 10 pitches an inning. Just incredible. Here's Austin Dodd. He singled in the 2nd, flied to center field on a well-struck ball, so he's 1 out of 2. Pitch, Dodd swing and a miss, strike 1 from Duval. This sidewinder out there. That sidearm stuff. Well, when you're a right-handed hitter, it looks like he's really coming from the side. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on and hit foul back in the screen. 0-2 the count to Austin Dodd. Dodd steps out for a moment, now steps back in the batter's box. Again, the Lady Cats, after 5, leading Lindale 4-3. Boy, that's a real pressure ball game over there. 0-2 pitch, just missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Austin Dodd. Big game for the Lady Cats. I think Lindale's a 3rd-place team. They're either 3rd or 4th. I'm not sure about Texas High. 1 ball, 2 strikes, swung on and hit. Base hit to left and right center field. Austin Dodd may hustle that into a double as it's going to go all the way to the wall. Dodd is going to head to 3rd with a triple. And Dodd, Coach Hammock put up the stop sign. The second baseman had the ball just on the grass behind second base. And I'm sure Dodd was probably thinking about the inside the park homer, but he just hit a triple. So a great hit by Austin Dodd, his 2nd on the night. What a way to start an inning. And here's Jace Birchfield now, a sacrifice in the 2nd, grounded to short, 0 for 1. Infield pinched in at 1st and 3rd, still back up the middle. And that pitch just grazed Birchfield's uniform. So he was hit by a pitch. I think if I was going to be hit, that's the way I would want to go down to first base, have that ball just kind of breeze up against the jersey or something. And a pinch runner is also down at first. See if we can identify that player. Can't yet, but we will endeavor to find out who that is. Oh, here's one back to the screen. Here comes Austin Dodd. He'll come in and score on the wild pitch. And the pinch runner moves down to second base, and the Wildcats lead 4-0.
Attention, please. Now running for the Wildcats, number 2, Jake Davis.
Jake Davis. Good job there, Jeff. So Davis now running at second base for Birchfield. And on that wild pitch, he moved down to second. And Austin Dodd came in to score. the fourth Wildcat run. They lead 4-0. Here's a ball hit up the middle, and it's fielded by the second baseman. Throw to first. Oh, a beautiful play by Greenville. On the play, the Wildcats runner Davis moves down to third base. It was a beautiful play. I think that was Garrett Phillips. I don't think they moved Koger. If that is Koger, he moved to second base. He made a beautiful play, so there's nothing wrong with him. Maybe he just felt out of gas or something. But Koger, he just made a beautiful throw, kind of a lobbing throw, but right on the mark. And here is Jace Thompson. There's one Wildcat out. They have a run in and a runner at third. That's Davis, the pinch runner at third. And the 1-0 pitch to Thompson misses, 2-0 the count. So Duval's been a little bit wild here. Gave up a triple, hit a batter. Got the ground out to second. The infield in now for Greenville, and there's a pitch just off the plate. 3-0 the count to Jace Thompson. And Duval from the stretch. 3-0 pitch. That's up too high, ball 4. So 4-pitch walk to Jace Thompson. Runners at the corners now with Davis at third and Thompson at first, one out. And here is Connor Bergen, and he is 1 for 1 with a double and also laid down a beautiful sacrifice. Makes me wonder if Coach Hammock may be dreaming up a squeeze bunt here. He's having a long conversation with Connor Bergen. Of course, I'm not sure what kind of fielder that Duval is. I can't imagine that he would be a better fielder than Koger, who's a natural second baseman. So let's see if there's a method to the coach's madness here. Seemed like let's see if he squeezes with Connor Bergen up there. Here's Duval's pitch. He did square. The pitch was thrown outside. There's a throw to first. They've got the runner picked off, and he will move into second as the catcher's throw was low into the first baseman. He couldn't field it, and Thompson steals second. Looked like he tried to get himself picked off into a hot box so that see if they couldn't score Davis, but he just took second. That's what they gave him. Here's a 1-0 pitch, bunted on, and that was a safety squeeze, looked like, and foul back to the screen, and 1 ball and 1 strike to Connor Bergen. Wildcats sure trying to squeeze bunt here. That was a safety squeeze. The suicide, the runner is tearing off of third base from the moment the pitcher winds up. You bunt it or else. On that one, you wait until the bunt's put down, and then you try to score. Safety squeeze. 1-1 pitch swung on, another bunt try and bunted foul, and 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now if you try to bunt it and bunt it foul, you're out. It's considered a strikeout. So let's see if Coach Hammock takes that off now. He has 2 runners in scoring position. You might want to give your batter a chance to swing here. Bergen does have a hit tonight. Duval stretches. And the 1-2 pitch is swung on and hit a line drive to the third baseman. And they got the runner at third base. Oh, boy, I thought Davis got back in there, but the umpire said the third baseman not only caught the line drive, but got the runner trying to scramble back into third base. So Bergen hit the ball pretty well, but he hits into a double play. Wildcats do score a run. They had 1 hit. There was 1 Greenville error, and as it turns out, 1 runner left on base. The Wildcats had a run, and we've played 6 complete here at Wildcat Park. Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 4 and Greenville 0. Well, we're back a little bit tardy here, but the first pitch in the top of the 7th inning, a strike to Rhodey Wiggins. And it's Jackson Cheney out there trying to complete this ball game and get a shutout. Here's the 0-1 pitch swung on and hit just foul, nubbed foul back behind home plate. Cheney up quickly, 0-2. Jackson so far no runs and 2 hits through 6 innings, and he's trying to have the complete game shutout here. And right now a 2-hitter. Bases hitters 2, 3, and 4, so some good sticks coming up. Here's the 0-2 pitch and call strike 3. Jackson Cheney picks up another strikeout.
First baseman, Clay Burnett.
That's strikeout number 7 for Cheney. 1 up and 1 out. And here's Clay Burnett. He grounded down to the first baseman unassisted and then single, so he has 1 of the 2 hits. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball, a beauty in there for a called strike. Boy, that was a wicked breaking ball that had the batter bailing out. Looked like me hitting up there. That breaking ball coming in there. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Another breaker for strike 2. Boy, Cheney really breaking off some nice curveballs. And he's ahead in the count 0-2. Why not a trifecta? Let's try 3 in a row. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Oh, this was a heater. It was up too high, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Clay Burnett. First baseman for Greenville, hitting from the right side. He's a big fella. Again, waggling that bat over the head a little bit. Here's a 1 ball and 2 strike pitch, swing and a miss. 8th strikeout for Jackson Cheney, and Greenville is down to their last out. Brandon Stevens 0 for 2, grounded to third, flied to left. And Jackson Cheney just 1 out away from a 2-hit shutout for the Wildcats that they so desperately have needed. And the pitch on the way, called strike on the outside part of the plate. Boy, Jackson Cheney just rocking and firing up there. Everything a strike here in the 7th inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball. That's a single up the middle. Just eluded Argenbright, who gave it a good try, but a base hit for Stevens.
Center fielder, Jack Phillips.
Here's Jack Phillips. He grounded to short and struck out, so he's 0 for 2 in the ball game. That's the 3rd Greenville hit. They're down 4-0 here in the top of the 7th inning. And Phillips, open stance at home plate. Runner leads off first. Stevens. A pitch on the way. Oh, it bounced out of Birchfield's glove, but the runner went back to first base. I guess he thought Birchfield was close enough to it that he was afraid he would get to it really, really fast. And so he did not want to make the last out on the base paths. Well, Babe Ruth did that in a World Series game, tried to steal in the last inning with the Yankees behind it. That was the last game of 7th game of the World Series. There's a call strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. I think that was against the Cubs, believe it or not. That shows you how long that was. From the stretch. And Cheney with a 1-1 pitch. Oh, a beautiful breaker. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and Greenville down to their last strike now. Jack Phillips up there. See how Cheney plays it here. Curveball or give him the heat. From the stretch. And Jackson Cheney's 1-2 pitch swung on, hit foul. That ball was pretty well struck, but he was kind of well behind that one. Hit foul by Jack Phillips. Count remains 1-2. So he had a pretty good beat on that one, just swinging a little late. And let's see what Cheney decides to do on 1 and 2 here with 2 outs. And the pitch on the way, breaking ball, swung on, foul back in the screen. Phillips just protecting the plate and just so he could live another day there or take another swing, and he just hit a foul gently back into the screen. And count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs with a runner at first here in the top of the 7th. Wildcats leading 4-0. Cheney from the stretch. Short lead off first. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and just a bleeder caught by Cameron Harrison, and that's the ball game. Boy, what a well-pitched game for Jackson Cheney. And everybody congratulating Jackson as he comes off the field. What a commanding effort. What a game that the Wildcats needed. And man, did they get it big time tonight from Jackson Cheney. No runs for Greenville. They had 1 hit. There were no Wildcat errors and 1 runner left on base. So Jackson Cheney, a shutout for the Wildcats, 4-0. A 3-hitter. Greenville made the only error. The Wildcats played errorless baseball. So 2 of their biggest bugaboos, the pitching and defense, and they were really, really good in those areas tonight, and they were very adequate with the bats as they had 4 runs and 7 hits. that's not overpowering batting, but it's very effective batting. And when you get good pitching again, it raises all the boats in the harbor when you get that good pitching. And high tide raises all boats, right? But that's going to do it here as the Wildcats are now 3-8 in district play. So's Greenville. And I'm telling you, I told you from the beginning that this is a big game because the Wildcats, if they end up in any kind of tie with Greenville that involves the playoffs, the Wildcats will have the tiebreaker on them because they won this ball game and they won this series 2 games out of 3. And so very, very big. Now we do not know how Royce City is doing tonight, but if they happen to lose, and I think they had lost the first 2 games in their series, if they lose again tonight, the Wildcats will be tied with them, which will be, nice. But again, Royce City has the tiebreaker, but you have to move into the tie before you can move past them, I guess. Would be one way to look at it. But just a wonderful ball game for the Wildcats tonight. And some of the offensive stars in this one. Sacrifice fly by Colson Hale. That was big for the first run. And then Hale, he had 3 RBIs. He was the true player of the game with the bat tonight. He had a 2 RBI double. So 3 RBIs for Colson Hale. And the 4th run for the Wildcats scored on a wild pitch after a triple by Austin Dodd. So Dodd with a couple of hits tonight. He was one of the batting heroes as well. So good job by the Wildcats, 4 runs, 7 hits, and Jackson Cheney, wonderful on the mound, no runs and just 3 hits. And our final, the Wildcats 4 and Greenville 0. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Again, the last thing we heard on the Lady Cats was they had played 5 innings and they were leading Lindale by the score of 4-3. And that's the last we have heard on that one. And we'll be signing off in the next 30 seconds, so we will not have anything further unless we hear Jeff Harris break in and tell the crowd what's happening. And don't anticipate that. So let's just go ahead and wrap this one up here. It's a very, very nice and crisp ball game, very rapidly played at about 1 hour and 35 minutes, and we like them that way. And James Terry taking care of everything back at the station. We appreciate him. Doug Haston did all our engineering. We certainly appreciate Doug wearing so many hats here. And also doing all the video work and for replays and posting to YouTube and all that stuff. And I'm Don Julian with your play-by-play tonight. Once again, our final score from Wildcat Park, the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 4 and the Greenville Lions 0. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and so long, everybody.